Greetings, Ani, Bonjour, Kwekwe, Tansi, Scano. It's Catherine and Brian from Moonstarlodge in South Central Ontario, bringing you our Indigenous perspective on all things cartomancy. And if you're new, welcome. And if you are an old timer, and I say that lovingly, welcome back. Actually, you're all kids to me, so there you go. Anyway, we are here with a reading for the week of April 1st to the 7th, which means my birthday month is over, and I am not happy, but that's okay. Actually, I do apologize if my energy comes across as very low. I've had a very difficult week with the rheumatoid arthritis, and I'm dealing with a great lot of pain. So it's a push to get through these things sometimes, and I appreciate your understanding. Anyway, everything I wanted to bring you this week, some new decks and some beautiful things, Spirit said no. That what needed to come through was some sort of preparation for the big eclipse on the 8th, which is the beginning of next week's video. So working through what it is that Spirit wanted with Brian's help, dowsing and such, it needed to be solar and lunar decks and and a shamanic deck and the ancestors. And basically 8 decks were called upon. 9 decks were called upon, which is a galactic number. And so the reading has an odd card added in, but this is the way it is. The preparation for the eclipse, it isn't just about the solar flares that will be hitting Earth in 7 minutes or so after the eclipse and all of that. It's not just those kinds of energies that, yes, they could impact our communication and our hydro and computers and all of that electronic stuff that we deal with, but it impacts us too. We have this battery full of energy running around here in our skull, and so it's preparing us to ride the wave in a positive way. So Mercury is going retrograde in the week, and lots of shifts are happening. Anyway, the moon plays as big a part in this solar eclipse, not just because it's the moon that's blocking the sun, but the impact of the energies hitting the moon and being transferred to us. So I am using The Wandering Echo by Rachel Jean. Of course, the Marigold Tarot, the Shaman's Dream. Just make space here. The Wandering Soul Oracle by Rachel Jean. The Wandering Moon Tarot. The Embroidered Graveyard, which I wasn't expecting. The Cosmic Pink. This is my Hello Kitty version of the Wandering Moon. The very old Oracle of the Radiant Sun. And this weirdly wonderful First Light Tarot, which is a Majors deck with an equal number of emotional and spiritual cards that go in it. So it's a 44 card deck. All right, let's go to the cards, Brian. So here we have the 7 tarot cards, and then we have a melange of all the other decks mentioned. Our week starts with the 7 of Swords, and the 7 of Swords has a lot of interesting meanings, many of which are not discussed in tarot readings. It can be strategy, it can be stealth, it can be stealing, it can be a lack of integrity, it can be imposter syndrome, and it can be all of it at once. But when it was clarified here by the King of Swords, that told me in a huge way, this is about remaining in our authentic selves this week and defending our experience and our authenticity. Moving through this week, we might need to use some stealth and skill and a bit of cunning, not to be co-opted or somehow removed from our internal space of integrity. Brian, can you just grab my tablet before it gets pushed on the floor again? Thank you. Sorry, we've got catus interruptus here. This is socks, for those of you who know socks. Brian, this is continuing to happen here. All right. So, we need to stay in our authenticity, and it's clarified by the King of Swords. The King of Swords takes no guff, has the kind of mental or intellectual, not just integrity, but maturity. So we are being supported here in our authenticity and speaking our truth and not worrying about deviating because others need us to from our truthful walk. It's followed by the Sun, one of the best cards in the whole deck. So the Enlightenment, you can imagine the way this card looks. There's a hole in a brick wall or a stone wall, and the light is being allowed to enter into whatever this is on this side of the stone wall. It's the enlightenment I see in this particular reading. And it's clarified by companionship. So we are meant to not walk in a lonely soul way like this might imply, surreptitious strategy, moving on one's own, but rather to be in companionship and to share this joyful energy of the Sun. It's followed by the King of Moons. So now we have two kings. And the second king in this deck is the King of Cups. So again, emotional as well as intellectual maturity and moving forward, looking out for others. And it's clarified by the wheel. The very fact that all these beautiful cards are standing in our spiritual and authentic selfhood, this says that the wheel is moving. The wheel is about recognizing changes and honoring everything, like the smallest of the cycles of the day, the cycles of the lunar month, the seasons. This is about marking time and understanding progress. And it's favorable right now. It's moving into the light. The King of Moons is followed by the Queen of Swords, so the partner for this king. And she is about internal clarity, whereas kings tend to be looking for the kingdom, looking out for everybody. The queen is about, it's a no-holds-barred queen. In historic times, she was often a mature woman who was a widow. So taking on the responsibility of, if she's a widow, taking on this responsibility. But I digress. The Queen of Swords is about taking no guff, just off with its head if there's some attitude or thinking pattern or external something that is causing us to be distracted or muddying our thinking. The Queen of Swords is going to keep us with the clarity internally that the King is bringing externally to our journey. She is clarified here by the Transform card. So this is a metamorphosis, really. And the metamorphosis is, this is a lunar moth evolving, growing. So this is a week of growth. And normally, with this new moon on the 8th, it means this is about the 4th quarter of the previous moon cycle, which is about deadheading, getting rid of everything. So the swords make sense. Getting rid of everything that doesn't serve us. Knowing that there's a transformation coming. And so it's with the following week that the transformation gets the energy out of this solar eclipse new moon. Following the Queen of Swords, we have another court card, the Page of Moons. So the Page of Moons is the same as the Page of Cups in this deck, and this is about curiosity, innocence, being arty, being creative, looking from different perspectives, and asking us to look as if we're seeing something for the first time. Maybe some face or item or thing in the home that we haven't really looked at for a long time. But this is a card of emotions, so it's creatively looking into the eyes of the people you love and seeing them in a new way. The clarifier card for this Page of Moons is hope. So whatever we're evolving, for this is a collective reading and each of us will evolve something differently in our lives, we need hope. And we can feel hope that what we are transforming into is something wonderful. The Eight of Moons is that kind of fork in the road. It's taking the journey away. It can be something like a spiritual retreat, a vision quest. It can be just walking away from something we've loved and knowing we've had our time with it and it's time for something new. It's clarified by the Galactic Mushroom. This is a shaman card, and this is one of the most incredible cards in that particular deck. The Galactic Mushroom refers to the divine matrix. It's often referred to the great spider web in some indigenous cultures, but this galactic mushroom isn't just about all the things in the spider web on the earth, but it's about everything in a vertical axis, the planets, the everything celestial. So as we get our heads around what's coming on the 8th, we need to know that we are reinforcing our position here in this galactic mushroom. The final card is the Queen of Wands, so another queen, the great creator, the life of the party, the beautiful energy, the passion that infuses. She's using her crystal like a shamanic wand here, I note. And she's clarified by the wheel. So we have the Wheel of Fortune twice. We have all kinds of court cards. So there's a lot of people influence, both the archetype and possibly people, actual people external to us. Really incredible energy, and it's building, and I feel that it builds, and it builds with the zenith being on the eclipse. But it's going to take another week for after the crescendo and the ebb. It does not, the eclipse isn't just on the 8th. It starts like the 1st and it ends on the 14th. This final card that comes from the First Light deck is the Hierophant, the trainer, the wisdom, the understanding, and the mentoring. Some of us may need to be mentored, and some of us may need to be the mentor. Some of us may need wisdom, assistance, wise assistance, and of course we've got the King of Swords and we've got the Queen of Swords here. But some of us may be put in the position to offer wise assistance. And finally, the understanding card. So the understanding, the epiphany of the week is this card here, the Hierophant. Okay, Brian, you can flip the camera. Flip the camera. That's what you're doing. Okay, I have chills running through me, and that's actually sympathetic nervous system reaction to the presence of spirit. If you've been a student of ours here in psychospiritual development, you know that that's one of the symptoms, the goosebumps or goose flesh. So this is a very powerful reading for this this first week of April and last quarter of Looks for a Woman. And I hope you all take this in and really take this couple of days that we still have off to really integrate how you will move forward with this energy that's building. So if you like this video, as always, give us a thumbs up. If you haven't already, please subscribe, because the algorithms here don't support us, so we get no extra support from Google without 1,000 subscribers. If you can, send me a coffee. The extra caffeine actually increases your vascular circumference, and that will help with my pain. And thank you to the secret person who sent us some coffee. Literally sent coffee. Anyway, miigwech, nyawen, aho, have peace and be peace, from Brian and I at Moonstarlodge.